I remember watching the year you won the Oscar, and I remember your speech has to be one of the most iconic speeches of all time from an awards show. And you talk about chasing your heroes, your 10-year self in the future. I'm curious,
right,
if you could put yourself 10 years from now, 60, because you just turned 50,
yeah.
what would your hero at 60 say about who you are today, looking back?
Wow. Yeah, it's a great question, and one I think we should all ask ourselves. Have I had that great sit down with our future self? I think you'd say, make sure you trust yourself. Make sure you did a good job of trusting yourself, but you know what? You could have even trusted yourself more. You could even trust yourself more. You made some things, maybe you made some things a little too hard, maybe where you didn't need the resistance. Just sit back and trust yourself. So I made some things hard because you felt like you needed to feel it. Nah, you had already done the work. You already laid the rails on the road. Just now, right now, stay vital. Keep those rails greased. Keep yourself in shape, mentally, spiritually. But overall, you've done it. You did it. You're doing good at trusting yourself. And I'm proud of how my favorite thing about you, 50-year-old Matthew, is that you do give a damn. And sometimes I wish you would have maybe given yourself a break in places where you didn't. But you know what? That's who you've always been. And shoot, now that I look in the mirror at 60, that's who I still am too. So anyway, thanks for getting me here. To 60. It's great to see the kids all out of the house now, and me and our wife Camilla are having a great time, kind of like a honeymoon again. The kids are out of the house, and we've got a new season in life. And you did a good job being a parent. You were a good father. Wow. And that was the thing, you always wanted to be. It's the thing we've always known that we wanted to be. The only thing we ever knew we wanted to be. And you weren't perfect as a father, but you did a doggone damn good job as a father. Oh yeah, and let's keep rocking.
And let's keep living. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful reflection of your future hero.
I just haven't had one of those before. I had till just now. I haven't really thought about it that way. And thank you for asking that question.
Your father put a big impact in your life. He passed when you were, I think it was 5 days in shooting your first movie. Is that correct?
Shooting days. First movie I ever made. Yeah.
First movie.
August 17th, 1993.
And you were
92. So I'm 22, I think.
So something we have in common is when I was 22, my dad got into a near fatal car accident. He was in New Zealand with his girlfriend at the time. My parents got divorced. And his next girlfriend, they were in New Zealand traveling. I was 22 years old. He got in a car accident, was in a coma for 3 months. And we didn't know if he was going to live or die. He's still alive today, but he's a completely different man. He's not there physically and emotionally like he was. It was almost like I lost my dad that day, emotionally, mentally. We can have conversations, but there's a lot of amnesia. It's a lot of asking who I am and things like that of the past. But that moment for me it was a rite of passage. You talk about rite of passages in your life as a man. And I would not be where I am today doing the things I'm doing today without that experience of essentially losing my father emotionally and mentally. And you lost him physically. He was gone physically from your life at the same age as I did. Where do you think your life would be if he was still here? Do you think you would be able to have the impact you have on humanity? Do you think you'd have the relationship, the children that you have? Or would things be different because you don't have what you call in the book that safety net?
It's a great question. And I don't know the answer. I mean, these existential questions are always fun to go over because it's all a mystery going forward, but it's all a science looking back.
Yeah.
And we can connect the dots looking back. I don't know what else I would be doing because this is just what I've done and I've only done it once and I'm doing it once. I do, maybe I would have, him passing on and that year in Australia are two moments that I do often question. Would I be sitting here right now talking to you with the life I have if it didn't happen? I'm very confident that I would have had some sort of enriched life that I felt satisfied and felt joy in living if I'd have been doing something else. But at the same time, those moments, what I can really speak to is that I manned up when he moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you felt when you didn't lose your dad physically, but emotionally, father for me he was my safety net. Those values that he was teaching me, I still had in my hip pocket that, if I only kind of use him 85% of the time, I'm good because he's got my back. He's above law. He's above government. He's my safety net in case I really need him. So I'm kind of half-assing these values he's teaching me, or maybe I'm doing pretty good at them, but I'm not committed because I got him. And then he was gone physically. And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, oh. And I remember this. I write about this in the book. I remember this was something that came to me. Just Keep Living came to me, which was about keeping his spirit and what he taught me alive in life after he's gone. But also this 4 words, less impressed, more involved. Mm-hmm. I remember things right after he moved on, things that were mortal in life that I had reverence for. Fame, money, success, people. And all of a sudden, while I still respected them, instead of looking up at all of them, they came down to eye level. I looked them in the eye. They were mortal. I had full respect for them, that they were mortal. I could be involved with them. I'm looking them in the eye. Mm. Things that I looked down upon. I was condescending, patronizing. Geez, I don't like that. Pfft, look at her. Look at that. But all of a sudden, those things rose up to eye level. And the world was flat. I could see further. I could see wider. I could see more clearly. And I was standing taller. And my head was higher. My heart was higher. And I was like, it's time to man up and become a man, McConaughey. And this is how you need to see the world. You need to have the courage to follow through. And that does not mean, that is always not the most popular decisions. Quit half-assing yourself. Quit doing things just to get along or if you disagree with it. Don't, we're not going to be that guy who makes the joke at the party that makes more people laugh, but everyone walks away disrespecting you more. It was the beginning of understanding what are the choices you make? Again, the compounding assets the choices we make, compounding assets for our future. How do we be more true and kind to our future selves? How do we start making some more choices, make choices that by hook or by crook, they're going to be brave, courageous choices that you can look in the mirror if it works and go, yep, I'm responsible. And if they don't work, you can go, yep, that's on me. Quit living in limbo, straddling a fence here or there. Be smart. Don't be foolish. Don't dive in. Courage to take more risks. Courage to get uncomfortable with that fame and be able to go, the world needs you here right now. The studio wants you to pick out a picture. You're as hot as can be, but I don't care. I got to check out and go spend some time with me to figure out this. The courage to do those things. I don't know if I'd have done those things. I had the courage to do them. Because maybe I would have still been stuck in, no, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so impressed to be here. I'm so thankful I have these options and these possibilities for success. Thank you. Well, if you're so impressed with something in your life, even our relationships, you can't really be involved in them. If you're overly impressed with me or I'm overly impressed with you, you and I can't even have a real conversation. Right. Because one of us is holding the other on a pedestal. Look at our relationships. Right. Our girlfriends, our wives, our friends. If we hold them up on a pedestal, it's unfair. We don't really have a relationship with them. We've got them in this immortal bubble of being a superhuman or a superwoman. It's not fair to them. And then what happens in the reflection of their eyes? They see us the same way. Then we're both dealing with we're both for rent. we're both not leveling. We're both too impressed with each other to actually be involved.
It sounds like you learned a lot from his passing, and you grew a lot, and you held true to that courage that you're talking about, which I think has made you the man you are.
I've tried to. I mean, it's a constant, as you know, it's constant in process
Yeah.
work. I've evolved my questions and eliminated a lot of things in my life that did not feed me, did not turn on my true self. I've tried to eliminate those and keep more things in front of me that are things that will feed me and feed my best wolf, since we got two
Ooh.
wolves in us.
Yeah, we do.
A
I
good
love
one
that
and a
story.
bad one.
I love that story. What do you think of the 5 things we should all eliminate to live a better life?
First, get rid of, we got to quit hanging out with those people that sort of only turn on our most banal selves. Sometimes they're the easiest people to go to because they're the life of the party. I've been that guy before. Like I said, the life of the party. Tell the joke that's about someone that's not in the group. It's on them. We all snicker, and it's great. You got the biggest laugh, McConaughey, but everyone walks away going, "I don't respect him as much."
Yeah.
So again, one of those long-term choices. Think about long money, not short money. Long money. Places. Hey man, geez, why do I have a nasty hangover every time I go to that bar? I don't know. Is it the drink? Is it the people? Is it whatever it is? I don't. Every time I wake up the next morning after going to that bar or that place, I feel, well, eliminate that. Quit trying to make that place work. We got to eliminate this habit we all have in society right now, which is I raise me up if I put you down. It's false. It does not have a return. There's no ROI in that. It appears to be. It goes back to that. What do we tell millennials about everyone living online and social media with comments? There's this false sort of impetus that, oh, I'm taller. I win if I make sure you lose. That's not winning. You know, there's room for us both to win a blue ribbon, but we may do something different. And to covet or be jealous of your success, and if I don't like you and I can lose, man, I want to see that guy ball. That's you're giving yourself a disease to think, oh, that's going to raise me up. So again, it's short money. It's short money.
Yes.
It may be even counterfeit. You know. There's a few things. You know, we've had this tendency to we put our finger and point out disease before we point out health. We rubberneck at the car wreck on the other side. Love to see a wreck. Wow. You know what I mean? Dissect. Here we go. We love to dissect problems. Well, start dissecting success. Start looking and deconstructing your life, your choices, those people you're hanging around with, those places. When things are going well, when you're like, I feel like I finally caught a groove here. Well, go put the pen to paper or look down or start dissecting. What am I doing? Because there's a habit. There's a science. There's some science to satisfaction. And we don't just get there by dissecting our failures. And when we're in a rut, we need to be confident enough to go, well, things are going well. And I can't take this for granted. What is it I'm doing? Oh, I prepared more. I didn't have stress. I mean, it goes down to I always call this delayed gratification, teeing yourself up for a green light. Starts with the simplest thing. And this is what I mean. Enjoy putting the coffee in the coffee filter the night before so the next morning you can get up and just go, boop, press the button. Aha, look at me. I teed myself up for a Saturday. I got a green light. Instead of the next morning going, oh, geez, where is it? Because sometimes it's hard to make your coffee when you hadn't had your coffee. Like it's hard to find your glasses when you don't have your glasses on. I mean, tee yourself up for some little pleasures, some Saturdays. Tee yourself up for some green lights. Kiddos, work. You gotta, you know, it's Friday. You got that morning meeting you're gonna lead on Monday morning, or you got that homework you gotta turn in, and you just finished on Friday, and you want to go kick back and head out and relax because you're gonna wait till I'll do it Sunday night. Sometimes it's pretty cool to go, you know what? I'm gonna get it done right now. Because Sunday, dude, I'm gonna watch football. I may be hanging out with my friends.
Right.
Sunday night game may be a good one too. I may want to go late, and I don't want to have to think. I go like, oh, I got to get home and do that. So I'm gonna tee up myself for some freedom on Sunday night by handling my stuff right now. So Sunday night, I can be like, I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready for Monday. And look, that doesn't mean don't be a hedonist. That doesn't mean, that's the responsibility and the freedom. That doesn't mean you're not free. It's actually giving yourself more freedom.
Yep.
It's actually giving yourself more pleasure later on. I love delayed gratification. It's one of the things you'll see if you have children. It's one of the great things I think to try and get them to understand You know, when I won the Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club, I had a really cool teaching lesson. My kids were like, "What's the trophy for?" And I said, "Well, it was given to me because my people in my industry deemed my work really excellent." And they go, "Yeah, but what's it for?" And I went, "You remember a year and a half ago when Popeye was really skinny and you said his neck looked like a giraffe?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I go, "Remember how you'd wake up and Popeye was already gone to work, and then Popeye would get home and we'd have a dinner and then he'd have to go study and go to sleep. And he did that for like 2 months and he was gone all day." They're like, "Yeah." And I go, "What I was doing that was every day then, someone gave me a trophy for today, a year and a half later."
Wow.
So what you do today, what I was trying to get across to them is like what you do today can matter tomorrow. You can be rewarded for it. If you do something really well today, you can be rewarded. You can get a green light for that later on in life.
You may not get the reward today.
You may not get it today. So trust that you can be rewarded. At the same time, let's look at the inversion of that. Go ahead. Lie, cheat, steal. All right. Now what? Lie, cheat, steal, broke up on the tax, cheated on so-and-so, whatever. I'm not buying green lights to the future. Why? Because now everywhere I go, I got to look over my shoulder and see if someone's there that I owe money or someone's there that I cheated. And all of a sudden now I'm not present and I'm stressing because someone goes, "Oh yes, so-and-so is here." And you're like, "Oh, that's not a green light. It's a yellow light." It's stress, unnecessary stress because I left crumbs yesterday. Don't leave the crumbs. Tee yourself up for some freedom. The responsibility of picking up your crumbs to handling stuff buys you your green lights freedom in the future. Where you're going like, I'm fine. I can walk in anywhere. I don't have to look over my shoulder. I'm living and doing my best to live a life where I don't have to live over my shoulder. It's a good thing for us each to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's selfish. That's the other thing. It's selfish. And I have a full redefinition of selfish. I'm for what is selfish. It's also selfless. Mm-hmm. But it's teeing yourself up. It's being cool to and kind to your future self. And it's also what's best for the most amount of people.
Absolutely.
Call it the egotistical utilitarian. You know?
You mentioned how a lot of people are trying to tear other people's buildings down. When I interviewed Kevin Hart, he said that greatness was about helping other people succeed as well. Not just you succeeding and tearing other people down, but also making winners around you and building other people up around you as someone who's great. Yeah. I love this quote by Jim Carrey. I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, but he said, "I hope everyone becomes rich and famous so they can realize that's not the answer to life." Something like that, he said in a speech one time. Mm-hmm. It seems like so many people on social media want to become rich and famous. What have you learned about both of those things? And what advice would you have to someone who is working so hard for fame and money based on the lessons you've learned?
Look, first off, what have we all learned about rich and famous? If you are rich and famous, you can be president. Ta-da!
Right.
Now, look at the definition of success. If you go back in the original Webster's dictionary and read the definition of success, it is vastly different from the definition of success today. We have put, especially in America, fame and money at the top of the ladder for what you need to get to succeed, to be successful. And if you're successful, you have respect of peers because you're famous, because you've got more money. Are the order of what we're telling our children and ourselves to aspire to, it's out of order. It's not in order. We have, it's part of the reason we have distrust in leadership today. There's nothing wrong with pursuing money. I love money. There's nothing wrong with fame. It's fickle. Fame is a mistress. It's not a wife.
Right.
So, and you have little, trysts with fame but it's not an end-all stay. It's not a real destination, or I don't think it should be. There's nothing wrong with pursuing it. But then we get into this question. Okay, so we all want relevance. We want this money. We all want relevance. Yes, I agree with that. I do too. Relevance for what? That's the question we ought to ask ourselves. What do I want to be relevant for? I want to be famous because I made a sex tape? No, you're pretty sure I can get famous if I do that. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure you can get famous if you do that. Well, is that what you want to be famous for? I don't know. I'll pass on that one. Don't it's you know it's a bit out of order, and we need to ask ourselves that question. All right, if I want to be relevant, which everyone does, what I want to be relevant for? I think that's just a good question to ask ourselves. And again, coming off what you said, Kevin Hart said, yeah, we want it for us, but can we be famous for doing something that we enjoy, but also other people? It builds up other people as well. We don't have to. Again, I'm going to go to Barkley here for a second. You get rich and famous, that's not I don't believe it's your responsibility to be charitable. Mm-hmm. No, it's your choice. It's a choice for anybody. Is it your choice to make or not? It's not responsibility because I'm in a position to. No, I have to make the choice. Now, that may be a more responsible choice by me that gives me more freedom because I feel better helping other people out. And it makes me feel good selfishly when I see them receive something and go, wow, thank you, which is a selfish, good feeling. So it has payback that I would say is, again, right there, responsibility and freedom, that it's paying me back and it's paying some other people back. I would stick with that. I would just end it on that. We want to be relevant. Ask ourselves what money and success. Look at the definition of success today and the definition in the original Webster's dictionary. And it is out of order, especially in America, what we are telling each other to aspire to be deemed successful, to get respect.
Yeah.
When Donald Trump became president, I had so many friends that were so surprised. I'm like, what are you talking about? At the very base of it, just the lowest common denominator. What do we tell people to be in this country? Rich and famous. He was that. He was on TV and he's rich. That's what we tell everyone is successful. So it's not surprising he became president. It wasn't to me. That's what we've been telling you. We're telling everyone you need to be to succeed in life. Again, if that's your only pursuit and you disregard certain integrity and you disregard being being as true as you can to yourself, that's short money. How many times do we call compromise a shade of gray when actually the right kind of compromise is the eye of great light and truth? At the same time, we feel like we need as humans something to grab a hold of, something to grasp a hold of. It can be very good for us. It can also be very dangerous for us.